It's like almost 80 degrees here in Pennsylvania. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Just waiting for the stream. There we go. All right. Welcome everybody to earnings. Where's my Amazon? It's missing. I know where it is. Nope. All right. Welcome to the 10-Minute Trades Trade Room. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember that all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures. Please do not trade money you cannot afford to lose. Everything we do is for educational purposes only. Thank you. All right. Now, I have all my tools back. We're back to normal. Almost. Almost back to normal. Not quite. Now, let me see if I can make that chart stay in the front. I used to be able to, but I may not be able to now. No, not that I know of. Well, somebody out there may know how to do it, but I don't. So I'll keep it over there for a while. Don't really need it anymore anyway. So my Amazon chart on the right should continue to work through earnings, even after 4 p.m. So that's our goal. Now, so I have a bunch of different tools that I use to help me trade earnings. We use the NQ as a proxy. Now, I'm already worried that my chart is not working properly. So hold on, it's not. So it's not. Oh, you know what? Oh, it should be. It should be. It should be. It should be. So let me try once more. So on the left side, I'm looking at the NQ. We're going to trade the NQ as a proxy. I love saying that word. I don't know why. Trade the NQ as a proxy for earnings. Now, okay, I do believe the chart is working now. It is. So I'm going to use the NQ as my trading vehicle. We're going to jump on the NQ train. So a couple of issues that you should do. So a couple of things you want to know. Number one, how do I do it? I'm using let me turn on my recorder. Even though we did this last week, I think it's useful to have 1 million educational videos. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have 1 million educational videos. So step number one, turn on the recorder. Step number two, turn off my webcam. It's a good thing I'm not in my pajamas because my webcam went on automatically. Good thing I'm not, doing what I shouldn't be doing. I could lose my job. But fortunately, I'm dressed. I'm in my office. So here's the thing. If you're in your office and you're doing webcam stuff, shut the door, right? Looks a lot better. Shut the door. All right. Wasn't really planning on being in person. There's too much to do. So let me fix my recorder and say goodbye. Thanks for watching. I'm not leaving, but I'm going to disappear. Okay. Let me fix my recorder. Why did it not record? Oh, I know why. Give me 1 second. I mean Facebook, I'm sorry. Thank you, Fred. Makes no difference. Makes no difference. As the band used to say. But it is Facebook today. I don't know why I thought it was Amazon. So same tools. It's the same, almost the same exact setup. But I would rather watch the correct stock, you know? I didn't get the schedule wrong, did I, Fred? Now that you're mentioning it. No, I have Facebook in my other chart. Okay, the symbol for Facebook is FB. And get my chart set. Get my clock on here. So I've got multiple tools, okay? I'm using, let me fix my recorders. Hang on, folks. Sometimes these things do not work the right way. And you know what? I wanted to test my webcam and see if it records, because we heard that it didn't. Okay, so welcome everybody to the 10-Minute Trades Trade Room, and I'll be back. Okay. So Facebook earnings is today. I'm just checking myself. So I don't know how I goofed that, but I did. So give me 1 second. I have to check one other thing because I don't want to make an error. So bear with me, folks. I made a slight mistake. I just want to double check my notes about one thing. So bear with me. It may be very quiet. It's okay. So what I was saying before is I have multiple tools. I'm using a NinjaTrader multi-broker account, okay? That allows me to log in. It allows me to log in with two different accounts from 2 different brokers. So I'm using TD Ameritrade or Thinkorswim, whatever you want to call them, all right? And my data provider. And like most of you, a lot of you are using CQG. I'm using CQG. So I've got 2 connections that are live. And I'm going to be watching Facebook and the NQ. All right. Also, my charts are set so that the data series if you right click on data series, my trading hours are default 24/7. But very honestly, so why do I do that? So that while I'm watching after 4 p.m., the chart continues to update itself. But it really makes more sense if you have Thinkorswim or you're using a multi-broker account. It makes a lot more sense to not bother using the Ninja chart, okay? Why do I need the Ninja chart? I don't. I have a more direct connection to my direct to Thinkorswim chart, theoretically anyway, because I'm not going through an API. I'm just logged in. I'm logged in directly to my other broker. Fred, you use thinkorswim. How do I get rid of the indicator, the volume indicator that's part of this chart? I don't ever use thinkorswim except to look at the charts for earnings. So I don't set up any charts. I don't do anything except check earnings times. But I'd love to remove that if you know and you feel like typing it in. Okay, Alonzo, the settings wheel at the top. The 3 lines, go to the gear. Yeah. If we can do it fast, I'll do it. If not, I'll do it after the trade. Am I at it? Oh, do you mean this guy? Okay, that's the correct one. Next to Beaker. I'm only gonna, you know what, folks? Maybe we'll do this after because I don't want to take up the time. I have too much to do. I'm on it somewhere up here. I know somewhere, show studies, unclick it. Let's try that. Appearance tab, okay. Tab. You know what, folks? Let's do it after the trade. I don't want to think about rushing, etc. It's not going to matter. Folks, I'll do it after the trade, okay? Don't sweat it. So, because I want to go over all the tools that I'm using. So I've got 2 connections, TD Ameritrade and our 10-minute trade connection. So that's easy to understand. Let's check the sync of our time, all right? We're going to go to time.is and check our time sync because that's what we do, all right? We do it for all trades. Time.is, and naturally I'm not in sync, so I'm going to have to pull out all the tools for this training session, so that's what we'll have to do. All right, so if time.is says that I'm not in sync, I go to dimension 4, and I pull up my dimension 4, and it looks like this, and I go to the Sync Now button, and I click it like 5 times. And while I'm clicking it, I watch that Synchronize button. And it changes because it's using the server in the location layer here. It's syncing to that server at the U.S. Naval Observatory every time you click the Sync Now button. And then you check yourself by going back to time.is, and it puts my computer in sync. So dimension 4 is located, the program can be downloaded. It's in the room drive on the taskbar of the trading software, of the trade room that you're in, okay? The trade room that you're in, if you look up to the top, there's a room drive. Dimension 4 is in that drive, okay? It's in that folder. So you can download it for free. That's a secondary tool to get in sync, all right? Now I'm going to use the one-click range trade today to trade earnings. That's how we trade earnings. I want to be on a 1-minute chart, okay? And I'll explain my setup. Now, I expect that Facebook, yeah, atomic clock works also, but I was having a problem with it last week, Blessing. So dimension 4 always works. Atomic clock should do it also, absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to use a different trade setup than we normally use for earnings in particular, okay? This is a great setup to learn. Anyway, you can do a lot of discretionary trading with this setup. Okay, so you go to strategies like we always do, load the strategy like we always do, JOBB V9, double click it, it shows up in configured, then scroll down and choose your trade type first. Do that first so you don't forget. we're going to choose trade type, one-click range trade, not a breakout. One-click range trade. Very simple. Now, entering your setups, because keep in mind, there's no DMMs for these setups. This is a trade room trade, okay? It's a bonus for being in the trade room. People that aren't trade room members don't know about these earnings trades because they're extra, all right? And every trader has extra trades. If someone else was the trade room moderator, they would have different trades that they were teaching you, okay? Using our tools, our software, whatever, right? But this is the thing, these are the things I'm interested in, so they're the things that I learned. And I'll pass them along. If you like it, you can do them. If not, you don't. So when you're using a one-click range trade, the bracket doesn't matter anymore. So skip down to entry range trade, ticks above the range, ticks below. I'm going to put in 15 ticks above and below. Okay. So I'm also going to choose, you don't use graphic shown on chart. This is a one-click range trade, not a traditional range trade based on time. This trade is based on bars, and it's based on the number of bars that we look back. We're going to look back 6 bars, okay? We're going to look back 6 bars. So one-click bars look back is very important. That creates our range. No time has to be entered. This is not a time-based range. It's a candle-based range or a bar-based range. We're looking back 6 bars. After 4 o'clock takes place, that's when I start looking back, because that's usually when I'm putting my orders on, before 4:01. Hopefully I can, okay? So we don't need time, we need bars. That's how we do it with a one-click range trade. I'm only going to use 2 positions because earnings can be tricky. And it's, you know, it's just the way I'm going to do it. That's my choice. You know, I could trade bigger, but we've changed our accounts. Our account is smaller right now, and it's not a family money trade. And right now, I'm just trading from one live account, okay? We'll get it all organized. We told everybody, we told you all, we're making some changes. This is all just part of some of the changes we're making. So, but we're back to live again. So I'm going to do 2 contracts. My first contract is going to be looking for 10 ticks, and then I'm looking for 32 ticks. And my stop is 22. And that's all I need to do to set up a one-click range trade. You choose your account just like you do normally. You're either going to be live or you're going to be not live. And you could label it Facebook earnings if you want to. I like to label my trades, apply it, okay it. Now watch what happens when you enable a one-click range trade. You get buttons. And we've gone over this last week, so this is not a surprise for most of you. Buttons give you an immediate entry short, which is one-click short, an immediate entry long, one-click long, or a one-click range entry. So remember, we're looking back 6 bars, right? We're looking back 6 bars, and we're putting an order above and below 15 ticks. So look what happens. I enabled the trade by checking it. When I enter when I click one-click range entry, it places my orders 16 ticks above and below the highs of the range. Okay, so that's the concept. That's the way it works. And then I'm going to manipulate my orders after 4 o'clock to try and get them as close to current price as I possibly can. As I possibly can. Fred, I'll do it after the trade, because if I screw my charts up now, I'm going to be angry at myself. Thank you. So I'm just changing over to live money. Remember, I'm just trading 2 contracts. Earning trades can be tricky. This is the kind of trade you absolutely must practice before you try to do it for real, okay? Don't do it live until you've practiced, please. A bunch of them, okay? You want to practice a bunch of them. So I'm not going to enter until I want to, all right? That's the key. No entry until I click the 1-click range button, right? Correct? Everybody understand that? And I'm not going to use the enter long or short buttons. No reason to. That's not the concept. I'm not entering the market immediately. It's not a breakout trade because the issue with earnings is we don't know when they're going to come out exactly. We know they're somewhat after 4 p.m. and usually Facebook it's no later than 4:03 and usually between 4:01 and 4:03. Now, I do want to let everybody know, and I know I'm a pain in the neck sometimes, but it's my job. I have a more important webinar next week, next Saturday, that I would love if you all register for and come to the webinar. I believe it starts at noon. I'm on at 3. There's a lot of companies presenting. I'm definitely at 3 p.m. So it's a multi-trading company webinar next Saturday. I believe it starts at 12 noon. I'm on at 3 p.m. So if you'd register and come to the webinar, why not? Support your friend, me. All right. And then if you're watching us on YouTube, folks, on YouTube, if you'd rather come into the trade room, there's no delay. You can visit us this week. Just type in www.freetraderoom.com, and you can come into the trade room for free. Now, if we weren't doing something financial, in other words, everything that I do can affect whether I'm going to keep my machine as healthy as possible to help me make money. Because you understand, like we stream, it's true, right? You're absolutely right. The spamming never ends. Because it's the way everybody gets customers in this business, right? To be honest, I don't like the model any more than you do, Ray, if you understand what I'm saying. But I don't have a choice until the world changes and everybody just gets all of our information from our YouTube channel, which is the way that I believe it should be in the long run. This email pestering will continue for a few more years, you know? I get it. I get it. Make up a fake email, Ray, and use it just to register to my webinar. No, I shouldn't say that. They'll never invite me again. They'll never invite me again. Okay. So, I mean, Ray makes a good point because we're emailing each other's members. We want to get new members. It's the way the system works. All right. So, folks on YouTube, you can come into our trade room for this week, freetraderoom.com. No delay. So the NQ, it's the end of the day, and that's why you have to be careful when you put your orders on because they move around. Now, I do want to hear my friends at Financial Juice, and I have to have a special setting in order to hear them because they'll probably get the Facebook earnings before anyone else. Yeah, they will. So I don't know. Is Facebook going to have good earnings, bad earnings? it doesn't really matter to us if they're good or bad. What we want is a reaction in one direction, just like we would prefer from a news trade. And also on top of that, we want to have the time to put the orders in and not get filled, to move the orders calmly if possible and not get filled before the earnings come out, not get filled while moving my orders. Things happen during earnings trades, which definitely makes them tricky. Now, I know everybody has different feelings about different companies. So, we spend a lot of time on Facebook, and we're going to be spending more time. But me personally, to tell you the truth, I'm not a big Facebook person. I like Twitter. I think Twitter is very immediate, and I'm going to be taking over our Twitter account, and I'm going to try and change our Twitter account and make it useful. No one's really been handling our Twitter account very well. It's really hard when you're a company the size of ours. Life has changed so much. Social media has changed so much. You almost need a full-time person just to handle one social media account. It's so busy and so complicated also to do everything right and to engage with people. You understand what I'm saying. Think of all the messages you never answer because you don't have time, or because, you say, I'll go get it later, and then you never get to it. I mean, companies are just as guilty of doing the same thing. So I hope that I'll make our Twitter account more interesting, put up some nice short content. And of course, I really think I want to help work on our YouTube account, our YouTube channel also. I think, we didn't know all the right ways to do things when we first started this business. No one does. So we're learning a lot as fast as we can about YouTube. We're going to make a lot of changes to our YouTube channel also. Yeah, I was thinking about TikTok, Calvin. I don't know where TikTok fits in, other than the fact that it's really popular. I'm not sure where TikTok would fit in for us. I don't know. I mean, I'm not ruling it out. I don't spend a lot of time on TikTok. I'm a wacky kind of person, so I enjoy the silliness, but too much of it is just everybody doing the same thing these days, it seems to me. Maybe it's because TikTok has this algorithm where if the first time you go on TikTok and you're like, it's a beautiful woman or a handsome guy, and that's what you decide to linger on, TikTok will feed you that type of content over and over and over. It has this artificial intelligence, just like all the social media platforms now. They try to figure out what you like, and that's what they keep sending you. It's just really freaky if you think about it. Let's watch, okay? So at about 4 o'clock, as soon as the NQ calms down, I'm going to click the one-click range entry button. And then I'm going to just try and keep my orders away from the current price. That's my goal. I don't want to get filled early, okay? I want to get pulled into the trade. So I may not talk very much once I put my orders on the screen, okay? Because it's complicated. And we'll know when the Facebook earnings come out. You'll see a burst in price on this chart. You'll know. You'll really see when the earnings come out. That candle will be huge. But see, I don't want to put my orders on now because the NQ is closing. And if I miss the Facebook trade, that's just too bad. I'll miss it. If it's not safe to put my orders on, I won't. And right now it's a little bit volatile. I need it to calm down a little bit. I usually should have time with Facebook, I would hope, So now the idea is I don't want to get filled early. Okay, so I'm going to manipulate these orders. I'm watching out of the corner of my eye my other charts. You know, I just had a great idea. I can't talk about it now. Just had a really interesting idea for a software upgrade. Now, Facebook earnings are not out. Now, if the NQ wants to drop, I want to avoid it, okay? I don't want to be caught in it. So I'm manipulating. Now, if I just feel like I've lost it and I can't do this, I would cancel the trade. I don't need to lose money if like my concentration goes or I don't feel like I'm doing it properly. Now, there was a move. Okay, Facebook is short, I think. It's not very big either. So there may be no trade here, folks. There may be no trade. Their earnings are out, but I'm not crazy about getting filled now. I'm not crazy about getting filled now. The move's over. The move is over. So I'm going to put my cursor at the short. I believe I'm not positive they're out. Not positive. I want to see that next candle. They may not be out. I don't hear that they're out. I don't hear it. If anybody hears that they're out, please type in that you absolutely know that they're out. It may be that that was just an early fake out kind of move. Anybody? I don't hear the earnings. I don't think so. If they're out, it's not much of a move, which I don't believe is correct. But the problem is, you know, the uncertainty makes this really difficult today. I don't want to get filled if they're not out. Anybody? Nobody knows. I don't think they're out, but they're very late if they're not out. I'm trying to hear, folks. That's what I'm doing. I'm listening to my various sources. Not hearing anything. Not hearing anything. I don't see a trade here. I think they're out and there's no trade. But I'm being serious. I can't tell. I cannot tell. It's hard to look away. They're very, very late if they're not out. Chantal, you don't hear them, huh? They're out. Okay, they took me out of the trade. You understand how this works? It hit all my targets. My targets were too small. So we didn't let our fear freak us out and get out of the trade. So I'm not going to put the trade on again. If I was in sim, I could put the trade down again just by clicking the check mark, but the bulk of the move is probably over. The bulk of the move is probably over. Now it may dribble and have a continuation move in the direction of the earnings, but look at the reversal. I would have got stopped out if I put my order back on, right? So I didn't want to do that. I hit my targets. My targets were set just for $245 roughly, right? That's all. But that was the longest we had to wait for Facebook earnings to come out. Did anybody else trade with me? So I made $245, about 3 minutes in the market, trying to handle my orders. We have a very unusual way of trading earnings. AJ, send me your graphics on that. I'll use that, your profit screen. I'll use it Saturday. Beautiful, beautiful, AJ. And Fred, send me your profit screen also, please, so I could use it in my webinar Saturday. AJ made a fortune. Fred, my notes show that it was a little bit later than normal. Zoso, beautiful. And nobody said you can't use a bracket trade, Zoso. I never said you couldn't do it. And that's what, listen, folks, you know what I love about the trade room. I love that everybody does things differently. You don't have to follow me to make money. Take my ideas and make money, right? Zoso didn't want to learn to use the one-click range trade yet, or he doesn't know how to use it. Don't take this personally. He used the bracket trade, and he moved his orders around. You can do that. You don't have to use the one-click range trade, and I should have made that clear. So Zoso, kudos to you for being really clever. AJ, how do you send me the chart? So AJ, do you know how to take a picture of your profit? You know what I mean, the profit? So what you do is, on my taskbar, I have the snip, what the hell is it called? Give me a break. The snip, come on, my brain is gone. My brain is gone. What's it called? Snipping tool. Alonzo, thank you. The snipping tool. So you might have to go to your start button, AJ, or who was asking me? Whoever was asking me, I think it was AJ. Go to your start button. You have to go to all programs, go to Windows Accessories, the folder, double click it. Inside Windows Accessories is your snipping tool. Drag it to your taskbar, or right click it, even better, right click it and pin it to your taskbar. Pin to start, or pin to taskbar, better. Pin to taskbar. Then to use the snipping tool, just click it, double click it, click new, left mouse button, and then you can draw and take a picture of any chart by holding down the left mouse button. Then you let the mouse button up and save that file. Save as. I now have a picture of Facebook earnings, which I thought was Amazon today, and it's not. Now, let me show you something you can do to protect yourself also, so you can double check whose earnings are coming out. AJ, is that clear? Should I show it to you one more time? So you go to your start button, all programs, Windows Accessories folder, double click it. Inside Windows Accessories is the snipping tool. If you left mouse click it and drag it to your taskbar, it'll pin it to your taskbar. Then you just double click it, snipping tool. Click new when the box appears. Make sure it's on the monitor you want to take the picture of. And then you get that screen, hold down the left mouse button and take your picture, and then save it. Then you can send me the picture. Okay? Then you can send me the picture. Oh, so who was asking me how to do it? Someone was asking me. Yeah, email me the shop. Yeah, you do it all the time. Yeah. So, okay, so Zoso used the bracket setup, right, folks? Let me show you what he did. I'm going to put myself in sim, okay? Just to recap, we made 245 in 3 minutes of manipulating orders. It's if I could make $245 every time I spend 3 minutes in the market, I'd be very happy. And I'm sure everybody would be. Now, I will put this video up on YouTube by tomorrow as another learning video, but there are 4 learning videos from last week on our YouTube channel that are public, and one of them goes into earnings very heavily so you can learn how to do it, okay? If you have our software in particular. If you don't have our software, you can do it if your software supports chart trading, you know, like TradeStation does and MetaTrader does and multicharts.net does, multicharts, a lot of programs do, okay? You have to be able to move orders around on the chart. So I'm putting my charts on sim because someone, Zoso, did something pretty clever. And what he did was before I put the strategy up, let me put my charts on sim. 1 second. So I don't accidentally enter a trade. So he did a bracket trade. So if you put a bracket trade on at about 4 o'clock, right? And instead of using the 1-click range trade, almost everybody knows how to do a bracket trade because at least most of you who are members in here, you know how to do bracket trades. So you'd set it to trade type as a breakout trade and make your entry type 1600 and 25 seconds, for instance. Okay, give the market 25 seconds to calm down and make your bracket 16 ticks. Okay, that's very similar to my setup. I was using a 1-click range trade with a 15 plus or minus ticks above the range. With a bracket, you use the bracket value to create the bracket. So you have an entry time. Don't forget to put your targets in, right? So you could do a 15 target and a 30 target. And don't forget your stop, okay? A 20-tick stop, say. So now my bracket, I don't want to put it at 16, 29, and 25 seconds because we're already past that time, 1600 and 25 seconds. That's the way you do it for earnings, 1600 and 25 seconds. So that's 25 seconds after 4 p.m. Eastern time, your orders will show up on the chart. But we're going to do it now. It's 4:13, so we'll do 16, 14, and 20 seconds, okay? Apply it, okay it. I'm in sim, enable my trade. Now watch what happens in 14 seconds when it's 16:14 and 14 seconds. I'll show you, AJ, 1 second. 1 second. So the brackets are going to show up, and if it was 4 o'clock, what Zoso did, I hope my bracket's going to show up. There they are. And he moved them around, okay? So he didn't get filled. So he used the breakout trade, okay? So that's how you would do it with the breakout trade. Now, if your chart trader is not showing, Zoso, thank you very much. AJ, if your DOM, you mean your chart trader. Go to this icon up at the top. You see this black bar with those 2 circles? If you click it and then click chart trader, if you click it off, chart trader disappears. If you go back to that bar with the 2 little circles, click it chart trader, and then it'll show up. Then if it's not showing money, you have to right click chart trader, go to properties, and make sure that show realized P&L, profit and loss, when flat. Show realized P&L when flat. That will show the money, okay, on the screen. Okay? Any other questions? Any other questions? So that was it. That was our first trade of the week, our first earnings trade of the week. We've got, let me tell you what earning trades are going to give us an opportunity for money this week. Tomorrow, very super high risk. Why? Because Google and Microsoft are at the same time. There's no way to know for sure when they're going to come out, and we can't trust. We may not be able to trust that they will be far enough apart from each other to give us a safe trade. So plan on trading Apple and Amazon if you're an earnings trader. Those should be excellent opportunities to make money. Okay? They should be excellent opportunities to make money. Any questions? Anybody have any questions? Otherwise, we'll be back here tomorrow at 9:30 for consumer confidence. Okay? All right. Now, don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Give us a couple of likes, will you? No one's given us a single like. Sign up for our channel so you know the next time we're streaming. And if you go to www.freetraderoom.com, you can come into our trade room all week for free this week. And it's the last week we're doing it for a while. Now, for all you folks that are watching in the trade room, if you go to my webinar this Saturday, it's a multi-company webinar, same URL as last week. We're going to keep the same URL for most of our big webinars, www.fmt2021.com. Multi-company webinar next Saturday. I'll be on at 3:30. Okay? So thanks everybody for watching the earnings trade. It's always a lot of fun to make money. And it's a lot of fun to be able to show you how to do it. So I hope as we go through an earnings season, by the end of earnings season, you watch enough of these trades and the way that we manipulate the orders, you'll find that you can do it too. All right. That's why we're here. It's the whole you can do it too concept. I believe that you can do it too, or I wouldn't be here. Okay. So thanks on YouTube for watching. Thanks for giving us a like. And that's going to be my motto for the next couple of weeks. You can do it too. All right. And I'm going to show you how. Okay, folks. I'll see everybody tomorrow at 9:30, and I'll show you how to use the trap trade. What do you think of that? Trap trade tomorrow morning. Okay. Have a good evening, everybody, and I'll see you all tomorrow.